What is up, CF students? We are kicking off a brand new series where we are saying, make it make sense. Have you ever read something in scripture and you're like, that doesn't make any sense? If you have, then you are going to love this series because we're going to make some of Jesus' famous sayings from the Sermon on the Mount make sense. See, this message that Jesus gives on the Sermon on the Mount is one of the most influential messages he ever gave. It's all about teaching us how to live like Jesus and how living like Jesus sets us apart. See, let's look at Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 and 2 and see what Jesus tells the crowd. He says, "Do not judge others, and you will not be judged. For you will be treated as you treat others. The standard you are judging is the standard by which you will be judged." So you probably have heard it said before, you can't judge me, only God can judge me. Well, what if I told you that we need to look at the word judging a little closer so that it can make sense? Because all of us judge, sometimes without even thinking. I even get confused because sometimes it says don't judge, but also times the Bible tells us to judge. If you've ever been confused, then this series is exactly for you. Because this week we are saying every student can make judging make sense by asking these 3 questions. So here's the first one. Why do we judge? So why do we judge? This question is great because if I want to do something or stop doing something, I need to know why I do it in the first place. See, I believe God gave us the ability to judge in order to help each other out and look out for each other. See, my mom is someone who, she loves doing this thing where she'll walk up to somebody and she'll just point out something about them. What she'll do is sometimes you ever have that little thing stuck in your teeth? My mom doesn't even need to know you. She will walk right up to you and go, "Hey, you got something in your teeth," and then just walk away. Not say anything, just walk away. But what if I told you that this is actually maybe a good practice for us to do? Maybe not necessarily with the speck of food, but with certain things in our lives. See, while it can be hard to receive feedback, being someone who is looking out for others and telling them the truth or making them aware of something that they would like to know is a good thing. The second thing is, what do we judge? Now that's something that I want to know why we judge. So now let's say, okay, I know why. So what are we actually supposed to judge? See, as Christians, we get into trouble when we try to judge people's motives. See, instead of focusing on why we think someone did what they did, we should focus on the action itself. The action, what they're doing, the motive is why they're doing it. Have you ever been wrong about someone else's motives before? Maybe someone cuts you in line at a theme park, but actually they're just trying to meet their friends. Or maybe you text your crush and they don't text you back and you all of a sudden have all these emotions going through you, but maybe their phone battery just died. Right, in 1 Corinthians 4, verse 5, it says, "So don't make judgments about anyone ahead of time, before the Lord returns. For he will bring our darkest secrets to life, and he will reveal our private motives. Then God will give to each one whatever praise is due." See, all of us can go back to what God has clearly said. He has revealed to us what we should and shouldn't do, what is right and wrong. Those actions should be a focus of what we judge. God will be the one who judges their motives. Okay, so now the third question is, how do we judge? But before we can look at how to judge, let's look at how not to judge. On the surface, when we hear "don't judge" or "you too will be judged," it seems pretty easy to understand. But what that actually means is that we aren't supposed to judge hypocritically. See, Matthew 7, verse 3 through 5 says this: "Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye." See, before we correct something in someone else's life, we should examine ourselves first. to make sure we're not guilty of it too. Did you know that Christians, we aren't supposed to judge those who aren't Christians? It's true. Let's look exactly what the Apostle Paul says in 1 Corinthians 5:12. It isn't my responsibility to judge outsiders, but it certainly is your responsibility to judge those inside the church who are sinning. So your number one focus shouldn't be judging our non-Christian friends. It should be leading them to Jesus. For those of you who don't know, if you are brave enough or bold enough to help correct someone, think about it like this. It's like watching someone run straight for a cliff. If you really care about that person, do you just sit back and hold your tongue? No, you stop them. You shout, "Stop! You're heading for a cliff, watch out!" If you truly care about our friends, then we should care enough to help them back onto the right path. So your bottom line today is we can make judging make sense when we use it to call people up, not out.